The following program contains scenes and language of a frank and explicit nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, live now.
Don't know, Mike. I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, everybody. He's a macho. Savage, you're listening to Mike Trash, TrashTalkingRadio.com. The best in the business. Say it, the macho.
Wrestling fans throughout radio land, listen to Trash Talking Radio at TrashTalkingRadio.com. Every Tuesday from 7 to 10 o'clock, you hear guys like myself, the Ugandan Giant Kamala. And that's my story.
Using mere words to describe the Trash Talking Radio Show from 7 to whenever we get done is like using a screwdriver to cut roast beef. This is Lunella Sean, the other half of the Rock and Wrestling Connection. That's the trashy one and the loony one. Together forever.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ivan Koloff. I'm here to tell you about Mike Talking Trash. With the Trash, 7 to 10. Tuesday night, you got to listen in. It's the best around, the best in town. Alright, hey, this is the Animal. One half of the world famous take in the Road Warrior. Listen to them. If you know what's good for you, listen to Trash Talking Radio or else.
Hey everybody, you're watching Trash Talking Radio. This is Hulk Hogan. Hulk, what do you got to say about Trash Talking Radio?
Well, I gotta say that I just bought Trash Talking Radio. You're out of the picture, dude. This is my show, and you better watch because what you gonna do when Hulk Hogan's brand new Trash Talking Radio runs wild on you?
This is the Vital Idol, and you're listening to Trash Talking Radio every Tuesday from 7 to 10 on TrashTalkingRadio.com. And remember this. When the Vital Idol tells you, it's got to be true. And when it's on the internet, it's got to be real. It's Trash Talking Radio every Tuesday from 7 to 10. I am the top of pop, the king of swing, the international rock star way above par, the host with the most, Mr. Tuesday Night, the Vital Idol, Classy Mike Trash, and thank you very much.
It is Trash Talking Radio Tuesday night. It's the best night of the week, and I'm back again. And I think I solved some of the problems I was having. I can't swear to it, but I believe I did. So if there's a nasty hiss now, I don't know what to do about it. But if there is not a nasty hiss, oh, what am I doing? I'm trying to figure out what. Oh, that's right. I wanted to do this. There we go. Stay there. All right. Stop. There we go. All right. Anyway, I basically went to a little extra trouble. I replaced my camera for one. That's why I keep coming off of the. It's weird. It's weird because the camera seems to move, and I don't really know why it does that. But I'm back, and I'm hoping that you hear me and hoping everything works because I replaced the camera. I did some adjustments on the audio. And I got to do one last thing up there. Let's see, what is the newest? Let's see here, go here, go there. Let's see if I got it or not. There it is. Okay, I got to do one more thing. Got to do this here. Uh-oh. I don't know where I'm sharing it to. Okay, let's see here. Gotta do this again. Oh, rats. What happened to my... Huh. That's odd. Took away my messenger. Alright. Why can't I find the messenger? The messenger is missing. Huh. Wow. Well, that's the first time it did. Oh, I see what it did. Alright, I gotta turn me back to me. That'll work. Now I should be back with my stuff. Okay, now there should be a messenger. There's a messenger. Whee! There it is. Alright, there it is. Now everything's where it's supposed to be now. Whew. Starting to think I was going crazy. Well, I still might be going crazy, but just want to make sure that I give people the right link. There. Now I got it all. Okay. Now we can do the show. Oh, I've got to check to see if it was on. I'm not in the chat room. Doggone it. Now I'm in the chat room. Okay. Looks and sound. Does it sound different than last week? That's the question, because there was a lot of hiss on this end. I don't know if it got through on there, but the camera I was using was hissing really, really bad. So I replaced the camera with a better camera, although it's cutting off parts of my body for some reason. When I shift it over, and it cuts my head off, like my head's cut off. Look, notice. Yeah, I got no forehead. But, yeah, I haven't quite figured that out yet. I'm trying to figure out if I like this camera or not. But it's the camera I use for my videos that I do for the auditions and stuff. I recently moved to that camera. And I also have this camera here, which would be I gotta move it this way, which would be a pretty nice camera. I didn't really necessarily want to use this one, but I may end up using this one because it's a good camera and all that stuff. So I might end up using it, but I might not. Depends. It depends if this one performs right and if I can figure out why I'm cut off. Like, why did I instantly jump to the one side? And I think I know the reason, but I just don't know exactly how to fix it. It's got to do with this. This is where I am, and this is how I move me around. And like the X1 axis seems to be, not that one. Nope, it would be this one here. Okay. Yeah, this one here is the one that seems to be disappearing. But, there, now it's better. Still cutting off the top of my head, but I haven't figured that out yet. Anyway, all right, so on to the show. Whew. Wow. Oh, what's that? It just made a noise. Oh, it's weird. Anyway, so what do we got? We got a lot of stuff today. We got a lot of really interesting things, I think, coming our way. Flathead, yeah, that's a flat top. There goes old flat top. So I got some interesting things. I don't have any RIPs to talk about. There were some people that died, but wasn't anybody I really had any attachments to. I had enough last week with the 5 that died. So this week we're going to try to talk about living instead of dying. Let's see. Where are we going to start? Actually, I got 2 auditions I'm going to show, and then everything is pretty much celebrities and news. I got to find my. I guess I don't have a drink open. Well, that's weird. Me without a drink is like a day without sunshine. All right. There we go. Pepsi should really endorse me. So I got some new things. I had a guy from Philadelphia that I guess I know him from somewhere. or at least he knows me from somewhere, and he wants to do a collaboration. So I thought, all right, that would be kind of interesting. And he actually gave me a link to a collaboration, or to a film that he did, and it was actually pretty good. It was maybe I'll play that later on after we get some people in the chat room, because it was actually pretty funny. It was it was pretty cool. It was different than I expected it to be, but it'll be worth watching, because it's about a guy who was dating a girl, except he was dating three girls. I think it was three girls, and he didn't expect them all to show up at the same time. So kind of neat, kind of funny. So I'll probably bring that on. I don't know. I may not have time though. All right. I guess I'll play the auditions first. All right. What did I do this weekend? I took Christine out to dinner for our anniversary. We had our 2-year anniversary Sunday. We went out to Black and Blue, which is it's one of my favorite restaurants. It was kind of fun. It was, it's one of my favorite places to eat, so, I'm definitely going to have a good time there. And actually, she had never been there, and she wanted to, like everyone that I took out there, I have never taken her out there. I took Doug and Rob and Jenny and all these people there, and I never took her to there. But I finally did take her, and she liked it, and she had a good time. So that's good that she did. And I would want to eat there just about every day, because I got the best ribs I've ever had. They're really tender. They fall off the bone. They're just awesome. And that's like my favorite thing when I go there. And then, what else did I do? I'm trying to think, did I do anything? I must have done something. Well, I redid my, I cleaned around my audition area, and I repurposed it. I took this one monitor that was this long, this high, and I turned it sideways. And the reason I did that is because sometimes my scripts get to be long. So with it being on there, it's kind of cool, because the script, even though it's long, I can still read it. So that was pretty cool. But the two scripts that I had to do this week, the one was for dental supplements, and it was supposed to be a voiceover, and for some reason they wanted a video. And I thought that was really odd that they wanted a video. Maybe they wanted to make sure you weren't editing the audio. I don't know. I did the audio, and then I thought, oh, they want a video? What do they want a video for? A voiceover clip. So I did it twice. And then I did a second one that was, I was a political, I was the head seat of like a local government. It was interesting. So let's do the dental supplement one first, because that one's kind of funny, because I'm sitting when I did it, because I'm supposed to be in a dentist chair. So here comes the dental supplements. I didn't test this to make sure. I did check to see if the audio was there, so that's all I care about. All right, this is the dental supplement. Oh, I noticed that I have a droopy eye. Did you notice that? I think it's from when I had my stroke, and I just started noticing it a lot lately. Right there, you can see it. My one eye is drooping. And in general, I don't notice it, but it is there, I guess. So, all right, here we go. This is the dental supplement take one. Actually, not one, but this is the take I took. Twice in my trash, I'm reading for the part of the dental supplement person.
Please stop. I tried to shout, struggling to get out the words, while the blood poured down my throat. I can't breathe. But he was relentless, driving the drill deeper and deeper into my mouth. I was desperate, trying not to panic, my hands scrabbling on the dentist's chair as I tried my hardest to get his attention, begging him to stop, to let me breathe. I couldn't believe what was happening. That what started out as a bit of bad breath and bleeding gums had now caused my entire mouth to feel like it was falling apart, terrifying my granddaughter so much she didn't ever want to see me again, and leaving me all but fighting for my life on the dentist's chair. I know it sounds impossible, but the worst part was the fact that both my lifelong dentist and all the specialists I'd seen in the past 6 months refused to take it seriously, until it got more serious than any of us could have imagined.
I think what is weird is that my voice still doesn't sync up. I think I'm going to download the other one, and then we can determine if it is indeed an issue with YouTube, because that should not have had any issues. Everything synced up when I did this. So what if we do that? Also, just out of curiosity, which one would you think got the most hits? Matthew Perry, Richard Roundtree, let's see, who are the other people? The two women, shouldn't say girls, the women, and there was a fifth one. I forget what there was for that. But there was, we had all these fun videos last week. Oh, actually, I could do it from here. Didn't mean to do that. Stop. I didn't tell you to play. Don't play until I tell you to play. All right. Where was I? Oh, yeah. So, where are we at? Okay, so we're going to, let's see. We're going to download that video that I wanted to do second, because I really think that the videos are lagging. Yes, you think it's Matthew Perry, and you'd be wrong. Strangely enough, Richard Roundtree has the lead at 294 to 204, and Richard Roundtree had a couple people leave messages. I was surprised that as much of a fuss as there's been over his death, that he is not the number one. And so if we throw Suzanne Summers into the mix, do you think think Suzanne Summers got more? Or do you think Richard Roundtree has more? Because she has a couple weeks on him. And actually Bull I thought would get more than he got, and he didn't. All right, so I want to download this one. Download. There we go. So I was really surprised well, she only has, I was really surprised that she didn't do that well. She didn't even beat Buck Owens. Buck Trent. Buck Trent. Oh, wait, she did beat Buck Trent. Where's she at? She is, wait a minute, where's she at? Oh, here it is. She did 143, and so she's half what Richard Roundtree had. I never would have imagined that. I really thought that she would be like Bray Wyatt. I thought she'd be in the thousands, not in the hundreds. So, all right, here is the second one. Let's see if the words link up in this one. Maybe. There we go. Coming up. Here we go.
Classy Mike Trash, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
See, that doesn't link up either.
Of Alex Townsend.
But it's better than the other one.
I'm Alex Townsend, committee chairman. Next to me is mayoral candidate Kirk O'Keefe, Secretary Sarah Wilcox, and Treasurer James Bridges.
Thank you for meeting with us. We do appreciate the time, and Anna Summers here has the financial backing of up to $500,000 from two very big and powerful lobbyists. Let's start with that.
That's very impressive. Would you mind telling us who the donors are?
Sorry, can't tell you that, at least not before she's offered a seat on the ballot.
Jonathan, we're all friends here. There's no need for distrust.
Well, are you willing to let her run on your ballot or not? I don't think it's fair to let you, a young upstart, come in and jump the queue. I won't stand for it.
He does make a good point. Why should we let her in?
Anna's video of her fighting the robber has gone viral. She's hot right now, and with the very sizable campaign money, there's a real shot at her beating the incumbent. Exactly how much money has your campaign raised so far?
You can't reveal that.
Is it $500,000? I'll take that in the mail.
I appreciate your candor, but that doesn't mean we can just change our position. We've been working with this team for quite a few years. It takes time to work with new people and build up trust.
Look at AOC. She came out of nowhere and took District 14. You have to get with the times. The voters want new and fresh blood.
Very bad example of a Democrat, and exactly not what our voter base is looking for.
So that was a little better anyway. The vocal or the voice kind of matched up a little bit better, but it still seems to be off just a little bit. Now, why did it go back to that? Oh, went back to that because that's the end of the clip. Okay, so also I wanted to say that not only am I working on trying to get a new band, I got caught. So I placed an ad on Facebook asking, and I knew I was in trouble if I wasn't careful how I did this. But the guy that the drummer that I know that I'm jamming with on Wednesdays saw it, and he asked me about it. He questioned me about it. I said, "Hey, Marcia, how are you doing?" This is a funnier story. Oh, by the way, I'm thinking of changing the name of our, I think I said this already, but I may not have. I'm thinking of changing the name of our TV show to The Hen House, or Rue and the Hen House. I think that'd be funny. And then at some point we're going to have to use the name Rue. But I thought that would be a cool thing because it's going to be almost factual. So, but anyway, so I got caught. I didn't audition for anybody this weekend, fortunately. And what happened was I put an ad for a vocalist being available. And I thought maybe I could get some kind of something going there. And the drummer that I play with on Wednesday night saw it. He said, are you bailing on us? And I said, no, I'm not bailing on you. I just realized that this band isn't going anywhere. This band is going to be stuck in the basement for a long, long time, and I want to be playing. And I said that I would play any jobs with them that they get, and I'll keep going there Wednesday nights, but I really need to be playing. And he said he understood that and can totally get that. And so I felt bad because, I don't want to get another band, but I also don't want to play with a band that isn't good enough to play out. And that's kind of where I'm at, is that they are not where they need to be. And they're, hey, Christine, nice to meet you, or nice to see you. Anyway, so the band, oh, by the way, this is the new thing I posted on Facebook. I just kind of got crazy with lately I've been doing some of these animations for future shows for advertising on the web and stuff. Anyway, so I told the guy, look, I don't want to quit the band, but I can't wait a year to play out. I've been with these guys since July, and we don't even have a whole set together. I was with the other band for 2 weeks, and we put 3 sets together. So, and I would have been with the 60s band, 70s band, except that they wanted me to drop my name, so I dropped the band. Given the choice between the two, I'm going to drop the band. And so, when I think about the things, my voice is definitely better than it's ever been. I mean, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why it's gotten better, but I'm not going to complain about that. So I put an ad on there, and the drummer's, kind of upset because he thinks I'm cheating on him, I guess. But I just got to be playing, I'm not getting any younger, and I got to be playing while I'm still young enough to actually enjoy it. So I put an ad on there, and within 10 minutes, this person asked me for more information. I gave it to him, and she gave it to her son. I guess she's I don't know how old she is, but they have a band that's playing. They have they do 70s and 80s tribute. I'd be okay with that because they're getting paid pretty good bucks. They're actually playing bigger places. And then another band asked me if I want to drive to, I don't know where it is, 45 minutes from, no, an hour and 45 minutes. And if they're good, yeah, I would do that. But they got to be good for me to drive that distance. And then another band is down in Lancaster, which is 30 to 40 minutes away. They do heavy rock, and I gave them my stuff and to listen to. And I don't know if I'm really wanting to do that or not. I kind of would like to do a variety of rock, but I would if the band sounds good enough and they're hard enough workers and willing to put in the work, I would do almost any kind of rock and roll. The thing with that other band, the one that 2 weeks ago, is they wanted me to change my name, and they wanted me to wear 60s clothes, and I was complaining about 60s clothes on the way home when I was talking to myself, and I thought, I don't know if I want to do it for that. And then they were the one that, but strangely enough, he friended me today, the same guy that wanted me to be somebody other than Mike Trash, and I just kind of thought that was interesting. But here he knows all the people I know. It's kind of weird because it's like all coming around. But hey, I'm gonna figure something out. I don't know what I'm gonna be doing, but I'm gonna be figuring some kind of rock and roll story here, and hopefully it'll come around. And I don't know. The longer I take to play, the more I want to play. And when I played the last week, it sounded so good. I wish I could get that one guy to play regularly. The one guy that I jammed with, his name is John. He's like 75 or something. He plays so good. I want to play in a band with him so bad because he's so good. But he doesn't want to play out. He just wants to play around. If he were to say, yeah, I'll join this band, okay, I'd be with this band right away because he's so good, and he does a lot of stuff that I like. And after all, it is about me somehow. But I really want to find the right mix because if I'm going to be doing this for a regular thing, I want to be doing something that I'll be happy with. And it's hard to find that right mix of people. I don't know. I keep thinking there's got to be something coming, and I'm not going to give it up. I just got to be patient and figure out what that something is. So if we get it all together, it could be a fun situation. So, all right, now off to the news. First thing was Taylor Swift is in the news. Now, I don't know any of her songs. I can't name one single song she does. I know her name, and that's like people that don't know any professional wrestlers except Hulk Hogan. She's done enough of her job to get everybody to know her name, and she's a regular household name. So I kind of thought that's kind of cool, but she actually did something really cool. Taylor Swift's 1989 is number one with the biggest first week sales of her career. Hi, what do you want? I guess you want something. I guess I can give you something because you've been pretty good overall. I'm going to give you a nice big chew bone. What do you think of that? Is that what you want? I thought so. She's so predictable. Anyway, it's the biggest first week sales of the year and of her career. The biggest first week sales of the year and of her career. That says a lot. And you know what? I think I like her, not because of her music, because I can't name one single song that she does, but I like her because she supports her fans in a way that I would, in that she appreciates her fans. And a lot of rock guys or a lot of musicians hit a period where they don't care what the fans mean. They don't care what the fans, the fans are really only secondary to their career. I don't believe that, and I firmly believe that the fans are everything. If you don't have good fans, you don't have anything, because they're not going to support you if you don't, do the right thing. So I am really impressed with the fact that she is doing this stuff. What's this Slut? I guess she has a song called Slut. It says, as predicted, all week long, Taylor Swift's latest re-recorded album, 1989 Taylor version, not only entered the Billboard 200 at #1, but was accompanied by some groundbreaking figures. Says here, with a whopping 1.7 million total sales attached to its inaugural sales week, 1989 catapulted to the top of the Billboard 200 with her biggest first week sales ever and biggest total of any artist this year. That's a pretty big deal. I think that's awesome, and I think that geez, I don't know what to think about someone that, but the people that work hard, you can tell, and the people that appreciate their fans, you can tell. They're the ones that turn out to be the biggest. So I just think that's really cool. All right, then let me see if I can make this bigger. Not really. All right, second. Okay. Matthew Perry news. Sad news. Matthew Perry's funeral is attended by friends, co-stars, and close family. And I don't think that, now that I read the stuff last week of him dying and stuff and his history of what he went through and all that, I'm really kind of surprised he lived to be that long, but I never knew that stuff. I knew that he had addiction problems in the past, but I never really thought about it about how bad it was, and that he probably would still be alive right now if he didn't have those addiction problems, because they screwed his body up. But and actually, I watched a YouTube video on bloopers, and he was actually a pretty funny guy outside of the camera, on that kind of stuff, not unscripted stuff. It says Matthew Perry's funeral took place in Los Angeles and was attended by his friend's family Friday, just a week after his sudden death. Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox, Lisa Kudrow, David Schwimmer, and Matt LeBlanc were present to lay the 5-time Emmy nominee to rest at Forest Lawn Memorial Park, not far from where the show filmed from Warner Brothers Studios. It's sad. He was so young. I can't understand it. But strangely, but it's nice that you have a group of family like that you worked with so long ago, that still feels that close. It makes me think about myself. If I died, who would be there? Although it wouldn't matter who would be there, because I'd be dead. I wouldn't know. But it's nice to know that they had that close of a friendship. But it's just sad because he was so young, and he looked like he was like 70 when he died. He looked horrible. All right. Says we were more than just castmates. We were family. So there's much to say. But right now, they're going to take a moment to grieve and process the loss. So, and they started let's see here. Where was it? There it is. Also on Friday, the Matthew Perry Foundation was launched to help those struggling with addiction. And that's good too. You always have to leave some kind of legacy behind. And it's weird thinking it. I mean, he was definitely a young guy and shouldn't have. You know, they had so much money they made out of that series, and that proved to be a downfall for him because having that money made it easier for him to do things, and it was weird. Anyway, next. Lisa Kudrow recalls bad behavior on Friends. Now you're effable. It's kind of weird to think that. I don't know I know what that means. I don't know who said that, but I didn't read that article all the way through because, strangely enough, I was kind of busy this weekend for not going out and doing things. Hold on here. All right. Lisa Kudrow spoke out regarding a traumatizing experience she had while filming Friends, resulting in her telling Matt LeBlanc. The actress spoke out in a recent interview explaining what the worst guest star behavior on Friends was. You know, my favorite movie of hers was filmed in Pennsylvania. It was filmed actually about 5 minutes from here. There was a movie that she was in with, who was the, Welcome Back, Kotter, the hedgehog, or the hedgehog, sweat hog. The sweat hog. John Travolta. She was in a movie with John Travolta, and it was called Lucky Numbers. And they did. I was telling Christine about this. They did one of the Denny scenes were done at a restaurant on the West Shore, which is I'd say about 10 miles from here. And it actually wasn't in Harrisburg, but they said it was in Harrisburg. And they also did the news station he was working at, where he was a weatherman, was on the West Shore, which is not Harrisburg, but it's cool because it's only like 5 minutes from here. It's just kind of cool that. But I love her since that movie because she was so evil in that movie. It was hilarious, the things that she did. But anyway. In a resurfaced video clip, Lisa Kudrow spoke out about an experience filming with an episode of Friends where she met with some unexpected language. When asked if she ever dealt with bad behavior while filming, Kudrow responded with, "I rehearsed without makeup once most of the week, and then on show night, I'm in makeup, and I was told how I'm totally effable." She added, "That's bad behavior, I'd say." So I wonder who the guest was. Did they say who it was? One of the other guest stars asked, "Did you retaliate?" She said, "I told Matt LeBlanc, he's my big brother." And actually, funny enough, Matt LeBlanc, when he left, probably about 7 years ago, he spent a lot of time in England. So he went to England to take the part of the host of the show Top Gear. And he was pretty good. He was pretty good for having to drive on the other side of the road, the other side of the car, and having to, do things I don't know how I'd drive if my steering wheel's on the wrong side. But, he did a lot with them. I think he had I want to say 3-year deal with them. And that was kind of cool to watch him on that show. Anyway, Matthew Perry, who passed away last week, recently spoke out on how much it meant to him to have the very last line on Friends. I don't know. I liked Friends, but I'm not a Friends aficionado. I don't know all the things like who had the last line on that. Prior to filming the episode, Perry pulled Marta Kaufman aside to ask a very special favor. No one else will care about this except me, he told the producer. So may I have the last line? And the last line was really kind of one word, you know. So he was granted in the last episode of the show. The friends gather in Monica and Chandler's apartment as they get ready to move out and begin their lives with the newly adopted kids. As they get ready to close the door for the last time, Rachel suggests they grab a cup of coffee together. I got to bring the curtain down on Friends when he said, "Where?" So, just kind of, I guess I get the joke, but I would have never thought about that being that important. But anyway, so he had the last line on Friends, and it was just one word. Oh, I wanted to also tell you. So, I haven't had well, actually I did. I had a paying job in August. But I haven't had a paying job since August when I did that one commercial. And I keep forgetting to put that on my resume. So, anyway, this past week, the past couple of days, I got hired to do a commercial, and it's going to be for arthritic gloves. So I should have those gloves hopefully tomorrow or at least by the end of the week. And then I'll be doing a script pertaining to the gloves. Kind of cool. So I'll be getting that. And then as long as they like what I do, they're going to send me work regularly. So I'll be getting regular work from them. And I was hired to do a film in Philadelphia. So that'll be kind of cool too. So I got 2 projects I'm starting. The one in Philadelphia should be in January. So that's cool. So I'll be in another film and I'll be in another commercial. So it's kind of cool. I was starting to wonder. You know, it's kind of funny that I think this because I worked every day of my life for 30, pretty much 40 years. And now I don't work every day of my life. And I get crazy because I think, oh, I must be failing because I haven't worked anywhere this month. But in this world of entertainment, you don't work every day. And somehow I keep forgetting that. And I keep thinking I'm failing because I'm not working. And oh, also I'm working on this director that I'll work with in January is a young female director. And I'd kind of like to see how good she is. Because if she's good enough, I would take her for directing the Forza comedy show. Also, I really have an idea that I want to. Oh, I got someone that runs camera too that is interested in working on it. So, if I can get enough people to do this, we're going to film it. And we're going to film it with the people I have in mind for this, I hope. So it'll be cool. I want this to work. I want the more I've been thinking about it, the more I definitely want to push this project because it'll lead to bigger things for everybody involved. So I saw a special on Jason Blum, which is the guy that does Blumhouse Films. And he usually does horror films. And he said the secret to his horror films is that he doesn't pay anybody up front. Everyone gets back-end money. So he can usually do a film for $15,000. And he doesn't have a Tom Cruise or anyone like that that takes a big chunk of his money. And so if it succeeds, they all get pieces of the profit. If it doesn't succeed, he only loses $15,000 plus a lot of time. I thought about that and I thought, well, that makes sense. And I think that's probably what I want to do. I kind of think that it would be a good idea to, at least to start that way. And so I'm really thinking that that's going to be the right way to do it. It could make a big difference on the series working. So I don't know. It's just things to think about. That'd be interesting if we could get, that kind of thing. And what I would do is I would run it through the film festivals. The reason I would do that is I could run it if I hire her for the director. I can do it with female director, and I can do it with female-led script, because I would have 3 females leading that script. So that would give us extra benefits and maybe even money from the government to do it. So it's kind of things I've been kind of thinking about and bouncing around to figure out how to get money off of it. Because basically, if I could get enough money just to pay for, lodging and the event and stuff like, and a little bit for production and stuff, that would get us where we need to be so that we can be recognized. And I'll have the script copywritten and stuff like that. So, plus I want to, one of the reasons I got to change the name is the Three's a Crowd was the name of a John Ritter spinoff of Three's Company. So I want to change it to something else. So the Hen House would be a good one, or Ruin the Hen House would be a good one. I don't know. Somehow we'll figure that out when we get closer to the thing, but kind of sucks that Forza Crowd was taken. Okay, next. All right. I got a little wrestling news. I don't usually do much with wrestling anymore because there's not been too much even interesting to me. But this is interesting not from a wrestling perspective, but more of a business perspective. What is he? Is the Intercontinental, I think it is. The Intercontinental Champion, I believe he is. Here it is. Gunther not allowed to leave the U.S. for the next 6 months. So he is not a true American. He is really from Germany. And so it's kind of funny that the champion of Germany, or I'm sorry, the champion of, let's see, I can't remember what belt he holds. It might be Intercontinental. Maybe it is Intercontinental. So he holds the belt for Intercontinental Champion. And he was not at their event in Saudi Arabia this weekend because he's not allowed to leave the country. It's weird to think that a foreigner is not allowed to leave the country, not allowed to leave the United States because of his visa. So I don't quite get it, but it says here Gunther has held the Intercontinental Championship for 500 days, surpassing the record set by Honky Tonk Man. And says, however, in a recent interview with Crone, it's noted that his strict residence regulations in the U.S. have prevented him from leaving the country for 6 months. So that's kind of funny to think that you're in the country and you're not allowed to leave the country for 6 months. So really kind of strange. But I thought that was funny. Hey, Ring of Honor something. What's Ring of Honor something? I don't know what that Ring of Honor something is. I know Ring of Honor is a wrestling company. Okay. Also, this is kind of interesting. Dana White, who is UFC guy, said that Vince McMahon is responsible for UFC coming to Saudi Arabia. And that's because he has those strong ties to Saudi Arabia. And the thing is that the Saudi Arabia show usually happens twice a year, I think it is. And this year, it was twice. But next year, their next event, I think, is January, which is kind of funny that they're guaranteed that money. I want to say it's $10 million or something like that for a show, which is pretty darn good, because considering you don't have to worry about hitting numbers. You're just, they sell out every time anyway when they go to Saudi Arabia. But they got, I don't know if the contract's still 2 times a year, but next year they're going to have one in January, and that's only a couple months after this one. So, I think that they're looking to make it bigger than they were. And the UFC thing is kind of a big deal because they couldn't get into Saudi Arabia. And if you ever saw any of the wrestling shows in Saudi Arabia, it's the weirdest thing to me because the women have to dress head to toe and can't show any skin. It's so weird to me to think that any country is so effed up that they can't, I mean, they must be so horny. They can't even fathom seeing skin or something. To me, it's the stupidest thing in the world. But, whatever it is. It says UFC President Dana White recently spoke to Adam Stern of Sports Business, which he revealed the TKO Holdings Group executive chairman Vince McMahon helped arrange the first ever UFC trip to Saudi Arabia. It was Vince McMahon. It was 100% Vince McMahon. He continued, Dana said that the deal regarding the deal getting arranged, he made every call. He didn't make one move without picking up the phone and calling me and getting me in the loop and seeing if it was cool with this and that. He went from being, oddly enough, I don't know why, an enemy to being an unbelievable, incredible partner. So we're going to see UFC over in Saudi Arabia. So, and the other thing that is interesting is with NBC Universal, whatever, Xfinity, whichever you want to say, owns WWE now. The relationships are important to keep, and Vince McMahon is a very key person to making sure that everybody's happy, because Vince actually made the original deal and continued on to make, to guide things. So, and then the last story I'm going to do about wrestling was that there's history that was made at the Crown Jewel, and I think part of it is that Rey Mysterio is going to be retiring real soon, and to do that they got to get the belt off of him. So they gave the belt to Logan Paul, which is kind of strange, but not kind of strange. I mean, Logan Paul has a huge following in mostly in YouTube stuff, but they got to capitalize on that to get people to increase their viewership. Not that their viewership is hurting or anything, but they're smart enough to recognize that they need to keep people interested. And it was interesting to me. I mean, Logan Paul, I'll tell you this. Logan Paul had recently just won a boxing match, and with a pretty good boxer. And so giving him the belt wasn't the worst thing. He's definitely a bad guy. He's definitely a heel. So, I don't know. According to WWE stats, There's never been a WWE United States Championship reign that began and ended outside the United States until this weekend. Rey Mysterio first captured the U.S. title, defeating Austin Theory on an episode of WWE Friday Night SmackDown in August. It took place in Canada. And the WWE Hall of Fame legend lost the U.S. title Saturday after being hit by brass knuckles by Logan Paul, who pinned him to become the new champion. So in Saudi Arabia. Like I said, it's one thing I will tell you about Logan Paul. When he first came in, I thought, oh boy, this guy's coming in. I don't know if he's a fan, and I didn't know if they were doing it, why they were doing it. But I've never seen a guy work so hard to be credible. So he didn't just go in there and lay down on the job, so to speak. He really did a good match, and he really did try hard to make sure that everything is good. He does have pride in his work. So I will tell you that I had my doubts as to whether or not he was going to be able to pull this thing off. But he pulled it off, and he pulled it off successfully. So it's good to know. All right, that's the end of the wrestling stuff, I think. Now, as always, there's Elon Musk news. And Elon Musk has a couple things on that I find is really interesting in that it isn't just by hype that he does things. He actually does do things for a reason. And I found it very interesting, some of the stuff that we're going to talk about. One of which is, actually the first thing we're going to talk about is ChatGTP. So everyone that follows technology knows about ChatGTP. I've used it. I've taught people how to use it. I will keep using it. I think it's a cool thing. One thing that I noticed is that I found an error in the ChatGTP, and somebody tried to call me. 323. How much do you want to bet that is California? I think it is. Might be. Anyway, because it's probably my weekly call from Scientology wanting to be my friend and stuff. Anyway, Elon Musk touts real-time access to X, which is formerly Twitter, as a massive advantage for his new GPT rival Grok. Boasts it's based and loves sarcasm. ChatGTP, I got a bunch of things on different things that have happened with the ChatGTP stuff recently. And the fact that Elon is going to put out his own chat fascinates me to a certain degree, because that's a really big undertaking. And for him to do that is going to be expensive on his part. Now, there are tools that are free in the ChatGTP world, but I found this really interesting that he's going to be doing this. All right, here we go. We've known for some time that Elon Musk plans to take on OpenAI. Now his strategy is coming more into focus. It's co-founding the ChatGPT maker in 2015 as a nonprofit. He's grown disenchanted by the company, viewing it today as effectively controlled by Microsoft, its biggest investor. That's true. So Microsoft has got a big hand in this thing. They own Bing, and they have done a chat service on Bing that is trying to take over the chat world. So, that being said, it's going to be Microsoft versus Tesla, or Microsoft versus Musk here. So he gives details about his AI assistant from the startup XAI, which he's dubbed Grok. I don't know if it's Grok or Grok, which will compete against ChatGPT and its ilk. He's already indicated on Friday that Grok will become available to a select group the following day. I actually signed up for that. Musk wrote on Saturday that Grok is based and loves sarcasm. I have no idea who could have guided it this way. He tweeted last December when a Twitter user asked OpenAI CEO Sam Altman if he could turn off the woke settings on the ChatGPT. That the danger of training AI to be woke, in other words, lie, is deadly. Musk said that Grok is designed to have a little humor in its responses, sharing a screenshot, which the replied to the prompt, "Tell me how to make cocaine step by step." Grok's response is, "Oh, sure. Just a moment while I pull up a recipe for homemade cocaine." Because I'm totally going to help you with that. Musk added Grok AI assistant will be provided as a X Premium, so I recommend signing up for it, just $16 a month via the web. Well, if it's going to cost money, it's got to be good. I don't want to spend money on things that isn't good. I hesitated on spending money on Chat GPT for a long time, but I'm at the point now where I might be ready to do it, because this is groundbreaking, some of the stuff that they want to do with it. So I would like to see it. I think it would be cool. It'd be awesome if I could find a way to utilize that in my business. Now, I did find a way to use it for helping me to write obituaries and stuff like that. But the problem with it is that so far, I think it doesn't tell me the truth. I think that it takes some of the things like, I noticed that a lot of people had breast cancer recently. It sort of took the breast cancer from Suzanne Summers and gave it to, who did it give it to? There were like 3 or 4 people that it gave it to. Richard Roundtree. Now, Richard Roundtree did have breast cancer, so I don't have to worry about that. But I think it also said that Matthew Perry did too, and I don't think Matthew Perry did. So I think that it lied there. So I'm finding that when I do these things, I have to double check some of the stuff that it uses. But it'll be really cool if they get this thing down, because I noticed that I've tried the Bing, I tried the Chat 3.5, and I've tried the Chat 3.0. They're all 3 different. They all give me different answers to things. So far, the 3.5 does really the best job, but that also lied. So that kind of makes me a little scared about that. So while we're talking about Elon, the second story I'm going to do on Elon. If you ever wanted a particular name and it was taken on X or Twitter, you can buy it now. They're going to apparently sell names. Oh, now it did that. Screwed me up. Hold on, I got to back that up. Okay. So they're going to sell names that have been active. So I don't know what people want to pay for names, but that seems kind of crazy. But if people will pay it, I mean, $50,000 is a lot of money for inactive names. And I don't think I'd want to pay that unless it was a name that I really wanted to have so bad that I couldn't live without it. But yeah, kind of crazy that $50,000 is a lot of money for a name. So, I mean, it would help you if, let's say, for instance, Ford went and screwed up and let it lapse. Well, I think the difference is it has to be 6 months. Let me see what it says here. Okay, where's my mouse? Oh, there it is. Okay. So he's trying to raise revenue with X. So Elon Musk's X started selling off dormant Twitter name handles for a whopping $50,000. While the company's website still suggests it cannot release inactive usernames at this point, an internal group known as @HandlerTeam has reportedly started working on a marketplace for unused handles. Forbes said about that. Current sales have happened through email solicitations to potential buyers requesting the flat fee. In November of last year, in a thread about offering amnesty to previously suspended accounts, Musk claimed that vast numbers of handles were consumed by bots and trolls, and that he was aiming to start freeing up those next month. In the same thread, another user, Paris Vegas, suggested Musk make a handle marketplace where users could buy and sell handles in an eBay auction-style format, suggesting that it would be a good way for X to free up handles and generate some revenue. In December, Musk indicated that the company would start freeing up usernames of the 1.5 billion accounts soon, although no public announcement of that freedom has been made yet. Worth noting, Demand Sage indicates that as of 2023, there are only 1.3 billion Twitter accounts on the platform as a whole, with only 237.8 million of them active daily. Twitter, in a post, he says, oh, freaking A. I need your email to unlock it. I don't want to unlock it. Come on. All right, now you messed me up. Let's see here. New York Times reported that X was considering selling usernames in a way to generate revenue. At that time, the engineers had started discussing the possibility of each of such sales, but none had officially gone into place. Noting that only certain usernames, such as those of well-known people and brands, might have value. The news is somewhat ironic given that Musk removed the legacy blue check marks because he alleged some people paid for them, making the process totally corrupt. So, there you go. I mean, we'll see what happens. Because Musk wants to turn that company into a profit-making thing, and he certainly spent a lot of money on it. All right, next. All right. Now, if you have been paying attention to the news and inside the network's strike plan to salvage the 23-24 season, hint, prepare for the shortest season of Grey's Anatomy in 19 years. So we may see a lot of shows not do a full season. I mean, you figure, what is it? It's November now, and the strike's still going on, so nobody's written any shows since summer. So you can't really have a full season if they don't have enough time to write it. So it says with SAG and AMPTP hopefully nearing a tentative agreement for the end of this the actors' strike. And I'll tell you, this has been really strange because this has probably been the longest that they've had a strike. And it's affected a lot of people. Like if you're not a guy that's making big bucks in the business, and there's very few people that make big bucks in the business. If you're not one of those guys, you're hurting for money. I mean, even John Cena's wrestling again, so I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that, he isn't making enough to live on, or he's living beyond his needs, or maybe he's bored and he just wants to do it because he likes to wrestle, and I don't know what reason it is that he's working right now, but specifics of the network's post-strike scenarios are being ironed out. But there's an early look at the plot to salvage the 23-24 television season. For the latest on the timing of your favorite show's return, there's a cheat sheet. So I'm assuming this is the cheat sheet. Let's see what happens. Hey, when is your show coming back on? Okay. All right. So, okay, they got all kinds of stuff here. So this is a kind of an important thing to post. So now we can see, if we pick a show, we can see when it's coming on the air and if it's coming on the air. I mean, they've actually canceled a lot of shows. They are not going to be making any more of that one show that I really, really liked called Heels. They did not get that renewed. I think a lot of that had to do with the strike. And a lot of stuff, I don't even know if it's coming back or not. It may not be. We may be stuck not seeing our favorite shows. So let's see. Right now there's a lot of to be determined, but you can scroll. Let's pick up Grey's Anatomy. Let's look at that one, since that was the one that we talked about first. Let's see if it says Grey's Anatomy. Oh, here's the whole thing. All right. Grey's Anatomy. Oh, to be determined. Okay. Say they put this whole thing together and don't have anything on it anyway. Well, still, I mean, I guess if they're going to update this on a regular basis. Chicago PD. I noticed they didn't have Chicago PD, Chicago Med, Chicago Fire has not had a date at this point. And they're usually doing half the season in the fall and half the season in the spring. And the fall's pretty much gone, so they can't really do anything about that. So that's interesting. Well, that really didn't help us, because it doesn't have anything on the shows that I watch. Okay. Yeah, I don't see any that really are interesting to me. That's what I like about WWE. They're not union. They worked all the way through. And so there we go. All right, let me see here. All right. Michael J. Fox is in the movie. In the show. Michael J. Fox says he's almost lost his hand due to an infection. In a new interview, the actor opens up about not fearing death. One day I'll run out of gas. You know, that's some weird thing about him. I mean, he was like really young when this diagnosis set in. He's been open about his health issues, including Parkinson's disease at 29, but he's now revealing other medical setbacks he's experienced over the years. It's so weird to think that as he was probably, he was in his early days, he was the man. Everywhere you looked, there was something that he was doing, and he was making tons of money at that period. And he just like got shot to, a point that he wasn't able to act at all. It's such a shame. I mean, he's probably my age, and to think that he had a success early on, and then boom, because of this Parkinson's, he just had nothing. He did try to do a continuation of his job, but it just got to be too much. It says here, while speaking with the Town & Country magazine in an interview published Thursday, the Back to the Future star shared that he has broken his arm and shoulder, smashed his orbital bone. I mean, that had to be from falls, and broken his hand in recent years. It says here, my hand got infected and I almost lost it. It was a tsunami of misfortune. In a previous revealed in the 2020 book No Time Like the Future, the doctors found a spinal tumor unrelated to the Parkinson's that threatened to paralyze him in 2018. He, after undergoing surgery and months of physical therapy, was able to start walking again, but with challenges. Shortly after that, he ended up tripping while he was alone in his apartment and broke his other arm. It's an accident that Fox said was nothing compared to what he would experience in the years that followed. Earlier in the year, in an interview with CBS Sunday Morning, the actor said that falling is a big killer with Parkinson's. Falling and aspirating food and getting pneumonia, all these subtle ways of that get you. You don't die from Parkinson's, you die from Parkinson's. Oh no, you don't die from Parkinson's, you die with Parkinson's. So I've been thinking of the mortality of it. I'm not going to be 80. I'm not going to be 80. Oh, okay. I'm not going to be 80. I'm going to 80. Though he can't control the future, he's not afraid of what lies ahead. One day I'll run out of gas. One day I'll just say, it's not going to happen. I'm not going out today. If that comes, I'll allow that myself. He added, I'm 62 years old. Certainly, if I were to pass away tomorrow, it would be premature, but it wouldn't have been unheard of. And so, no, I don't fear that. The documentary, still a Michael J. Fox movie, which was released in May, also recounts Fox's story from childhood to his success in Hollywood in the 80s and his battle with Parkinson's disease. That is just crazy. You know, he was such a big star, and now it's like, you know, he's got to be careful he doesn't fall and break something. That's just the weirdest thing to me, in that knowing that there's no certainty. You know, here he had everything he could have possibly wanted, except height. But, I mean, it's just so weird to think that you could lose everything with a disease that you have no control over. All right. This was an interesting story. Biden will consider dropping out of the 2024 race after a new poll shows him trailing Trump in 5 battleground states. That is a really big thing, is that there's always these 5 states that will make or break you. Okay, where's my graphic? Okay, I don't have my graphic anymore. Why is my graphic going? What in the world's going on here? Well, I had a picture here. It's gone. Huh. Okay. Well, now I don't have a picture. I'll put a picture up. We'll put... Where is it? We'll put one of these up. Let's put this one up. There we go. Trash Talking Radio. All right. Anyway, so, yeah, it's kind of interesting that he says Biden will consider dropping out of 2024 race after new poll shows him trailing Trump in 5 battleground states. That, to me, is a pretty big deal. It says here, President Biden may consider dropping out next year's presidential race following a brutal new poll over the weekend. The surprising development comes from the New York Times, and Siena College released a poll on Sunday and found that Biden trailing Donald Trump by 4 to 10 points in Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, and Pennsylvania. That's a big one. Although the current commander-in-chief still leads Trump by 2 points in Wisconsin, the former Obama advisor David Axelrod suggests that Biden should exit the race for 2024 because the stakes of miscalculations are too dramatic to ignore. The thing is, who would they put in besides him? Because there's none of the Democratic guys that would even come close. I mean, the only name is Biden on their side, sadly. I don't know. It would be interesting to see how that turns out. But the stakes are the stakes of miscalculation are too dramatic to ignore. I don't know who they would get that would be more get better than. I mean, not that I want Biden in again. I definitely don't want Biden in again. But I guess we really need to watch to see what's going to happen with my next article I'm going to read. So it would be interesting, but here's the chart David Axelrod put together. It's very late to change horses. A lot will happen in the next year, and no one can predict. And Biden's team says he can says his resolve is to run is firm. I just don't know. But I'm looking here, Nevada, it's about 9 points. No, it's 11 points. 11 points in Nevada. They could replace him with that champ that went into space in the 60s. And that's the Russian ship. In Georgia, we got, looks like 6 points. Oh, okay. They actually got, it's right there. Okay. Arizona's about 5 points. Michigan's 5 points. Pennsylvania's 4 points. Wisconsin is 2 points. Trump leads in 5 critical states as voters blast Biden. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting because with the case going on, I just don't even know what's going to happen there because the things I'm reading are really bizarre. So it says Biden is justly proud of his accomplishments. Really? Trump is a dangerous, unhinged demagogue whose brazen disdain for the rules, norms, laws, and institution of democracy should be disqualifying, but the stakes of miscalculation are too dramatic to ignore. Only Biden can make this decision. If he continues to run, he will be the nominee of the Democratic Party. What he needs to decide is whether that is wise, whether it is his best interest or the country's. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting because we know he's going to, if he stays in there, he's going to have somebody push him around in a wheelchair because he doesn't know how to, he's going to have to walk or be pushed up the, he's going to have to be pushed up the stairs in a wheelchair or make a ramp or something. 77% of the public believes that the current president is too old to be effective for the second 4-year term. These numbers are good, but they're consistent for, are not good, but they're but with the most of the other polling, the former Obama advisor said the country is in a sour mood. He's not getting credit for what I think is a fairly substantial list of achievements, and there is a real certain. Oh man, I can't read. There's a real concern about his age. Yeah, that's all we need is Harris in the White House. That's just crazy. I don't know if I saved this or not, so I'm going to try to save it again. But the next story is kind of just as bizarre as this one, and it makes me think a lot about, it makes me think about what he's doing, what Trump is doing, because he may end up having to run the office, well, he could pardon himself maybe, I don't know. Can you pardon yourself? I wonder if that's possible. But he's stuck in the, let's see, where we got it, there we go. All right, so on the other side of the coin, this is so weird. But I can honestly say, even though as weird as it is, it's not unexpected. But let's see what we got here. Let's see. So Trump is sparring with the judge, which doesn't seem like a smart thing to do, but he doesn't seem to realize that that's probably not the best way to do things. And as we know, let's see, let me try that again. They could replace Biden with a chimpanzee that went into space in the 60s, and that would be a Russian chimpanzee. Okay, well, I think the chimpanzee would be overqualified if you compare him to Biden. And if you compare him to Trump, I think the chimpanzee would do a better job than both of them would do. Okay. Oh, shoot. Come on. All right. So, a defiant Donald Trump. Oh, come on with these freaking things. Can't stand it. I got to figure out what makes Twitch keep doing this. Oh, freaking A. Twitch is driving me crazy. Oh, what did I do? I did the wrong one. Okay, we'll do this again. All right. Here we go again. Take two on this. So a defiant Donald Trump sparred with New York judge and slammed the state attorney general for suing him Monday, using the witness stand at his civil trial to defend his riches and lash out at a case that imperils his real estate empire. The former president barbed testimony spurred to the judge to admonish this is not a political rally. Trump's long-awaited testimony about property valuations and financial statements was punctuated by personal jabs at the judge author Engoron, I don't know, who said was biased against him, and the New York Attorney General Letitia James, whom he derided as a political hack. He proudly boasted all of his real estate business. I'm worth billions of dollars more than the financial statements, and disputed claims that he had deceived banks and insurers. The opposite is, this is the opposite of fraud, he declared, referring to James, a Democrat whose office brought the lawsuit. The fraud is her. So this is really interesting because if you fight with the judge, it doesn't usually look good. It doesn't usually, I mean, this judge is like a witch hunt. I mean, if he was on his best behavior, he wouldn't get a fair trial. They want him out of the government so bad. They want him to not be able to run so bad. They're trying to throw anything at him that could possibly stick. And this judge, now I don't think that what he's doing is right. I don't think that you fight with the judge, because that's only going to make it worse. I think that it's a witch hunt though, and I think they're all after him, and that could be an issue as we go on, as we get closer. So that concerns me a little bit, because whether you like him or you don't like him, he should get a fair trial. So, I don't know. People are sick and tired of what's happening. I think it's a very sad day for America. Trump told reporters outside the courtroom after roughly 3.5 hours on the stand. So he's arguing. He keeps telling the judge that they're all wrong. They're very biased, and there's a lot of things that are going on there that shouldn't be going on there. I mean, I believe in a fair trial, and I don't think he wouldn't get a fair trial anyway. because there's too many people that don't like him. So the lawsuit initiated by the New York State Attorney Letitia James alleges Trump and his co-defendants repeatedly inflated his net worth by as much as $3.6 billion between 2011 and 2021, secured favorable terms on commercial real estate loans and insurance policies. Trump's net worth valuation is estimated to be is estimated to be $7.68 billion. I'm sorry. I gotta see if that's his. I gotta see that. Is it $2.6 billion as of September? Trump maintains his innocence, arguing asset evaluation are very subjective. When pressed on the financial documents at the heart of the case, he responded he would sometimes give input on the statements, but leaned on the disclaimers that absolved him responsibilities for inaccuracies. The case poses a threat to Trump's New York business operations, with James seeking to ban him and his sons from conducting business in the state and dissolve his companies. Trump's legal team intends to file a mistrial. Really, I think it's really weird to think that they would not be allowed to do business in a state. I mean, I don't know. I just think it's really strange. And then the last, one of the last stories here of the celebrities. This is a sad, sad one. I really feel bad for him. Bruce Willis, his ex-wife, Demi Moore, allegedly devastated that he no longer recognizes her. That's got to be crazy to be able to, or not be able to remember someone that you had that long of a relationship with, but the dementia's just destroyed him. He's just like, I'm really sad about that because I loved him a long time because he was such a cool person, and it's so weird to think that this man who put out all these really cool movies, I don't know. I just think it's sad. I keep thinking about all this stuff, and it's really strange to think about him not remembering anything. Him really I don't know. I always think that if I lost my mind, if I lost my memories and all that stuff, it would probably be devastating. I mean, maybe not, because you think about that, and then when you lose your memories and all that stuff, you may not even know that you lost your memories. I don't know. I just, it's such a weird thing to think about losing. If you ever lost everything, you still have your memories. I mean, when you think about that. But if you lost your memories, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how, if he even knows that he lost his memories, you know. But anyway, the story goes on to say that actress Demi Moore reportedly experienced a heart-wrenching moment when she visited her ex-husband Bruce Willis. The actor's battle with frontotemporal dementia has allegedly progressed to the point where he no longer recognizes her. However, he recognizes his wife Emma Willis and children at times. Man, that's got to be heart-rending too. When you're thinking about, like let's say for instance, I went to see my sister, and she didn't recognize me. That would be really, really hard for me to take, because, I mean, even though our relationship really was only strong over the past couple of years, but or let's say, for instance, when I was married to Nancy, to have seen her before she died, if she had not recognized me, I don't know how I would have taken that. That would have been so weird. I mean, I wouldn't have taken it personally, but it would have really hurt, because you don't want to ever see, you know, I like to think that I'm friends with all my exes except one. And to think that I wouldn't be recognized if I saw him would be really strange to think of. But, I mean, maybe I wouldn't. I don't know. I just think about it too much sometimes. And it's weird, because he just retired from acting, 2 years ago maybe? And he's gone that quickly, gone that bad that quickly. It's a bad disease. That's just, it's just sad. Oh, man. All right. I'm trying to figure out here if anything's going on that I need to know about. All right. All right, let's see here. Is there anything else I need to talk about? What do we got here? 8:30. All right, I probably should. Let's see. All right, there we go. All right. I kind of found some fun things on Twitter again. And here's the first thing. It was let's hope this works. I think it's missing a digit. Let me see here. All right. So this is really cool. This is in Guatemala. A lightning strike. This looks like a movie set. This is really cool. You got this, like, I thought this was a movie set when I first saw it. What a weird thing to think about, these lightning on the mountain and stuff. It's really crazy. To think that would even happen. I mean, all that coming down in one area. Looks like the mountain is actually shooting the lightning into the sky. So that's kind of cool. I saw that, and I found that pretty neat. So, this is a cool thing I want to put on. What went wrong here? Oh, okay. Last digit isn't there. So, get rid of that digit. Okay. I'm going to put this on. I just think it's really cool because it's really different from things here. Come on. What is going on? Doing something here. Frankenstein. Yeah. That's kind of what it is. It's kind of like Frankenstein. It's really weird. Okay. So now we'll put this here. because I think it's really cool. I mean, nature does some really cool things, and people really probably don't realize how cool it is. Why did it go there? I'm going to go there. I want to go here. There we go. I don't get it. Put it in there. Oh. Why didn't it work? Guess this is not going to work. Is it going to work? Is it going to work? Is it going to work? I don't want to waste my time putting it on there if it don't work. Okay, it did work. Okay, so that means I'll put another one in there. That was definitely cool. Okay, then we got the guy. Okay, so this one, you know, I hate people that steal people's food. Okay, I'm a fat guy. I like my food, and there's certain people that steal food. And in fact, when I used to work at the one place that I was at for so long, this one girl put a little note on her food saying, if you touch this, a tall woman will show up and, you know, beat you up. So, you know, I don't know if anybody stole her stuff then, but, you know, it's just one of those things. You shouldn't have to put a note on your food. You know whether or not that's your food. This person here had that same problem. And here is what happened. I'm going to put it in here. Damn it. And this video was so funny when I saw it. All right, so we're going to go there. So this guy stole this person's sandwich, and here is him eating it, and there was a condom in the sandwich. So that'll teach you. No one's gonna like be on your side knowing that you stole your food, stole someone's food. So that was, and this other one, the third one I have here, is the best. If you're doing something, you want to stop right now and take a break, because this next one is awesome. This next one is the best thing I've seen on Twitter in a long time. I was rolling with this next one, and yes, it is about dogs. You're gonna like this. You will laugh your butt off. This one is so funny. This one is really, really. It's called dog sledding, and you will definitely enjoy this one. So here we go with dog sledding. Okay, coming up. Okay, here we go. Wait. Stop, dog. This dog's having the time of his life. It is hilarious. Here we go. Trouble with somebody. Now watch. This dog is going. He just loves to go on the snow. The dog was. I would love to have a dog that does that. Here we go. Cheyenne would be like, I don't know. I don't see her doing that, but this dog likes to sled. So he looks happy. Yeah. That was great. I love that. That dog, he's having fun. So I thought I'd change people's lives just by letting them watch dog sledding. That could be a new Olympic sport too. Get dogs, push them down the mountain. That one, he's like really upset because he's not sledding. He's like moving his feet like he wants to sled. So that's hilarious. All right, that's enough of that. Although I could watch that all day because I just think it's fun. I like to find those little things like that. Those are tidbits that are really funny. Yeah, I'd watch those Olympics. Yep, definitely. So, all right, next thing. What do we got next? So those three. I've done those three. Damn it. Oh. Okay, next thing. Okay, so that's that. What did I do with the... Oh, that's... Okay, if I have to, I'll come back to those, but I don't really think I need to. I have a bunch of... well, not a bunch, but a couple of articles that I was thinking of talking about, but I think I want to talk about... I've got enough articles that I don't need to I don't need to use these. So I'm going to move on to the next thing. All right. Where do I start with this? All right. Here we go. Wait, that's not right. There we go. This is kind of sad. Alabama mayor and pastor dies by suicide after being involuntarily outed as a transgender woman. You know, it's a shame that he couldn't accept... well, it's a shame that somebody had to do that, first off. Second off, it's a shame that he wasn't able to accept himself enough that he had to kill himself over that. A lot of transgender people does not want to be out there in public. What in the world is this girl doing? Transgender, or what's this? Karen's out of control. Okay, that I gotta see. We gotta see.
Spirits don't move me.
Oh, wait. Someone needs to kill her.
Spirits don't move me. You tripping. Spirits don't move me.
What in the world is... I don't even get it. She wants to hang herself or what? Oh, it's Florida, of course. It's Florida, that's why.
Spirits don't move me. You tripping. Spirits don't move me.
Okay, let's get rid of her. I'm tired of her. Okay, back to the thing. So, I mean, it's a shame he wasn't able to come to terms with it, but I mean, that's the way it is. Some people want to keep their private lives private and don't want people to know what's going on. An Alabama community is in shock after the tragic death of a local leader following their involuntary outing as a transgender woman when a local conservative news blog posted photos of them embracing their secret gender identity. Smith Station's Mayor F.L. Bubba Copeland, who also served as pastor of the First Baptist Church in Phoenix City, was found dead Friday. I can confirm he took his own life. Besides his political and religious affiliations, Copeland, 49, was known locally for owning a small grocery store in Alabama backwaters. Recently, scrutiny emerged from Alabama News blog 1819 News, reported Wednesday that Copeland had been engaging in explicit online activities, alleging posting pornography, memes, and photos of themselves themselves in women's clothing under the pseudonym of Brittany Blair Summerlin. The report shared screenshots. See, people like that, there's no reason to out somebody. It's just so weird that people think they have the right to destroy somebody's life. If he or she, whatever they want it to go by, wants to make it publicly known, that's fine. And if they want to keep it to themselves, that's fine. I'm sure that they have done nothing if you want to get on somebody for doing things illegally, activities, whatever, that's fine. Do that. But don't bring out, the whole transgender thing and try to destroy their life because they were transgender. I just don't understand why people hate so much and can't accept people for who they are. And yeah, this was a pastor and a mayor, so Alabama. So it just kind of sucks that people have to dig into people's lives just to find that certain something to get them. That just really, really irritates me. People like that, they should go after the people that outed him for murder, because they were blackmailing him, basically. They weren't blackmailing him like, if you don't do this, we're going to release this. They just did it to be rude. It had nothing to do with his performance in the community. He was liked in the community. So I just kind of felt sad for that person. All right, California cop resigns after investigation reveals 10 pages of disgusting and horrible racist text messages. Okay, if you're a cop, that's one thing you don't want to be. Now, this is a person that deserves to be outed because he's a racist. And he shouldn't be protecting the community if he doesn't like the community. He should be outed. This person I could understand outing. This guy shouldn't be a cop because he's already got issues that, that can't be resolved. So the thing is, everybody doesn't like somebody, but to dislike a race of people is really not fair to that race of people, because there are bad people in every group of people out there. Whether you like white people, whether you like, Latinos, whatever it is, there are good and bad people in all groups of people, all races of people. Mark McNamara, I can't even say his name, Mark McNamara resigned from the San Jose Police Department after an investigation unearthed racist text messages. McNamara also shot Con Green, a black man, in March 2022. Green appeared to make racist comments about Green's... Why does it say Green appeared to make... I think they have this backwards. Green appeared to make racist comments about Green's legal team in text messages. I think they had it backwards. San Jose police officer has resigned after text messages, including one about hating black people, came to light during an investigation. Mark McNamara, a 6-year veteran of the San Jose Police Department, resigned this week after learning the investigation into text messages of the San Jose Police Department. He also shot, said that up there, shot Con Green, a college football player, in March 2022 after Green helped break up a fight in San Jose State University. Green later filed a federal lawsuit against San Jose and the police department. So he did. Okay, so that guy still lived. Okay, good. Whew. That's good. Police discovered McNamara's alarming text messages while conducting an internal investigation into unrelated criminal matter. San Jose Police Chief Anthony Mata said in a statement, "I don't stand for this. It's disgusting in a horrible way that we have an officer that thinks that way." So police released a total of 10 pages of text recovered from McNamara's phone. In one text messages, McNamara appeared to refer to Green, who was holding a gun that he wrestled away from the attacker when McNamara shot him. N wanted a gun. N wanted to carry a gun in the Wild West, not on my watch. Jeez. That's just crazy stuff. Here's another thing. I'm like, dude, I don't give an S about this case. I'm white. He's black. He's gonna win, and I don't care. It's a bitch. Whatever they decide has no bearing on me whatsoever. It's basically kangaroo court, according to McNamara. Jeez. You know, that's wrong. That's wrong. We're all just people. Okay, so now this story is about a knife guy attacking a former MMA fighter. Who do you think's going to win? Is it MMA or a knife? MMA, knife. So who do you think's going to win? Knife-wielding man attacks former pro MMA fighter, promptly slammed to the pavement. I love this. I love this. When people think that they got the upper hand because they got a knife. MMA guys know how to defend themselves most times. So I just think it's hilarious. I hope he got beat down really good, because if somebody attacked me with a knife and I got the upper hand, you bet I would make sure he doesn't ever do that again. But that to me shows that, first off, the guy was crazy to attack an MMA guy. Those guys are legit tough guys. And okay, did this go or not? I didn't think it did. Okay, there it goes. I'll probably post it twice. Omar how do I pronounce that name? Maero. Omar Maero made an unwise decision when he decided to allegedly attack a man with a knife in Miami the morning after Halloween. Former pro MMA fighter Javier Baez said he was sitting in his car outside his apartment around 4 a.m. Wednesday when Marrero hit his window with a knife. When Baez got out, Marrero charged him with a second large knife and was promptly planted on the canvas. A surveillance video of the alleged incident released by Baez shows Baez restrained the attacker until Miami-Dade police arrived. Maero was charged with 2 battery felonies and pleaded not guilty. Once I put the choke in, he started just started letting it go. No one's worried about anything else except breathing when you're losing air. I'm trained all my life. I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I wrestled in college. I've got 8 pro fights at MMA Masters. I've got great training partners. Oh, we got the video. This is awesome. I want to see it. Let's see. Wait. I want to see it. Hold up. There we go. All right. Now we're going to see this guy with a knife come after this guy. Bam! Oh, man, that had to hurt. That guy looks fat, too. He doesn't look like he's in shape or whatever, but that guy, he definitely, I think he felt that coming. Man, that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Oh, man, that had to hurt. Oh, you just don't mess with MMA guys. It's funny because when MMA started, I remember that it was a big deal because I remember people laughing at pro wrestlers because pro wrestlers went into the MMA business and people were like, oh, pro wrestling's fake. You're not going to do very well. And then people like Brock Lesnar and people like Ken Shamrock and all these guys go in there and they just went right down to business and took all the belts. And then as MMA integrated wrestling into their forte, it became much more even battlefield. But people just thought that that wrestlers were, you know, wasting their time in the business and that they were fake so that they couldn't do anything. And wrestlers were the most refined sport out there, because jiu-jitsu guys, boxing guys, they all rely on being on their feet. And wrestlers, they don't care, you know, they don't care if they're on their feet or not, as long as they take the guy down. But it's crazy. That guy definitely got his he got his desserts that time. So yeah, that was a good one. I liked watching that. Next. I forget what this is about, so I got to... Resident perturbed by concerning trend. This concerning trend. So this is a... I thought about this trend for myself, actually. This is the concerning trend that people are upset about in neighborhoods. You know, I thought when I saw this first, what would that trend be? What is it that everybody's upset about? And I couldn't, you know, without reading the article, that picture doesn't mean anything to me. But when I read the article, I thought, oh, that's what they're complaining about. So the trend is that people are now replacing their grass with AstroTurf so that they don't have to cut the grass. I think that would be great. I would love that, except that, you know, artificial lawns have been cropping up all over the world, and one Reddit user is starting a discussion about them on a popular online forum. The user shared a post about a trendy landscape feature on British Problems, writing, "I'm seeing a huge rise in artificial grass and plants advertised and installed recently. It's casually killing wildlife, but as long as everything looks perfect and is Instagrammable." As these many points regarding the debate about installing fake or real lawns. My lawn, for instance, there's a lot of rocks in my lawn. So, like, I don't get a nice, even grass. I get a lot of grass in places, and I get no grass in other places. And AstroTurf would solve that problem. But I understand that, you know, that it's important to have the AstroTurf, or not. It's important to have the grass because, I mean, it helps the environment. It says here, a recent investigation has revealed that plastics used in lawns may be a potential carcinogen. The study suggests a linkage between exposure to artificial turf at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia and instances of brain cancer in Philly players. Really? That's really strange. It should be noted that the fake lawns require watering. Plastic turf tends to retain heat more than natural alternative. It can cause severe burns for athletes and children. Regular watering removes the odorous smell from pet urine, which can become a pertinent stinky issue in the hot summer months. Another problematic aspect of the landscaping choice is that the plastic breaks down, releases toxins, forever chemicals into waterways, soil, and our bodies. These complications aren't worth the aesthetic value of the lawn, and it's clear some folks in Britain feel the same way. So, yeah, that's kind of things you got to think about. Is the cancer or the effects of the AstroTurf or whatever worth the risks? So I found that interesting. And when I looked at when I saw that, I thought, okay, I'm looking at the picture trying to figure out what it is that they're looking at. And I thought, I don't know. That looks okay to me. And then I realized that's what it was about. So there you go. All right, next. This is strange. So we all know that if you're in a mill and you get stuck, let's say you fall in a grain thing, you could easily die. If you fall in the grain, you'll sink right down, and you'll basically die. Same with sand and things like that. You have to worry about that kind of stuff. So this person here has footage of a man being rescued under a mountain of grain in a silo. The worst thing that could possibly happen to you if you're in a silo is to be at the bottom of the silo and the grain be on top of you. But the fortunate thing for this person was he lived. And he only lived because there was a good cop that knew what he was doing. Not a racist cop, a good cop. Ooh, Gal Gadot. I was talking about her last week. Anyway, so they actually got video footage of them saving him, and really kind of cool video footage too, because if that cop had not been smart and thought about how to save him, he would have been dead. Let me see if we got it right here. I think we do. Well, that's a picture. There's a video of it in here. Two heroic cops have been awarded after saving a man from death after he became trapped in a mountain of grain in the outback. Of all places, the outback, I'd be afraid of that too, because, their hospitals are few and far between in the outback. Dramatic video of the incident shows the officers, paramedics, and residents furiously digging and working together to save the man during an incident in February this year. They were honored at the QBank Everyday Hero Awards in Brisbane. Let me see where this. There it is. Okay, that's not a video then. Where's the video? Oh, maybe they don't have the video. Okay. Well, here's the. I really want to see it. All right. 78-year-old man became trapped in the silo. They used a piece of pipe to allow the man who was buried up to his chin to breathe while he was rescued. The footage shows rescuers who raced in from around the community to pitch in, cutting a hole in the side of the silo, sending the contents spilling out and allowing John to be freed. So I guess I'm going to say this is pictures of it. There he is. Wow, that's crazy. Oh man, I wouldn't have even, can't imagine being down there, and I'd be scared that somebody would take a break or something and you'd be stuck in there. So here's that's one picture. Let's see if there was any other pictures in here. That's just crazy. So they cut a hole in the silo, and now he'll probably sue them because they destroyed his crops and stuff like that. People are like that. People can't appreciate. I shouldn't say that. That guy, I'm sure, was just glad to get out of there alive. Let's see. He was lucky. He was really lucky that somebody was there to... Oh, wait, is this the video? Oh, it's an ad. All right. Well, darn. Thought we were going to see a video. All right. Well, anyway. Next one. Okay, deputies investigate. What was that? I'm trying to remember what that was about. I'm going to do a different one because I don't remember what that one was about. Well, this is a weird one. Okay, so this one, talk about crazy stuff. If you ever had an MRI, you know things are dangerous with the MRI machines. Well, this woman here knows firsthand. She was a nurse, probably still is, and she was in the room, and the MRI machine turned on. And all of a sudden, she got attacked by a bed that was in the room and all kinds of stuff in the room. She was pinned by the machine. And that is really freaky. I remember them telling me I couldn't have my watch on when I was in there. I was thinking, what could happen in there? I mean, it's a watch. What could happen there? Yeah, a lot could happen there. It's crazy. Here we go. Back in February, the enormous magnetic pull of an MRI machine, one of the most powerful magnets on Earth, at Kaiser's permanent Redwood City Medical Center in California, pulled a medical bed into its field of attraction, pinning the Bay Area nurse against the machine. That in itself, that's got to be terrifying. I mean, think about what it would be like if you're in that room and you're pinned because a bed split up against you. That would give you second thoughts about what kind of field you want to be in. Not a magnetic field. So she had a crushing injuries from being pinned between the MRI and the hospital bed, including severe laceration that required surgery. It all began when an MRI technologist heard screaming. Regulators said systematic problems began when her name was Anna Cervantes. Anna spelled A-I-N-A-H. I've never seen it like that. Anyway, it all began when Cervantes and a patient care tech were left unsupervised. As MRI personnel were not in the room, the door to the magnetic room was open, and the safety alarm was never sounded, and no one was properly screened to be in the room. I was getting pushed by the bed. Basically, I was running backwards. If I didn't run, the bed would smash me underneath. It's an accident not entirely uncommon in medical centers with MRIs. Personally, I find it frustrating. We know that MRI accidents can happen when the best practices aren't followed. Here's the video of it. Got to be careful I don't get hit with an issue with YouTube.
New at 10, a freak out.
Okay. Oh, okay, so it's one of these, okay. All right, here we go.
Accident at a Bay Area hospital, an MRI scan that went horribly wrong.
And now there are claims that lack of oversight is putting patients at risk. KTV's Brooke Soros investigates how life-saving equipment can become dangerous and life-threatening.
It was late February at Kaiser's Redwood City Medical Center. An ordinary day from the outside, but
crazy.
Inside, an MRI technician reported hearing screaming coming from the other room. This photo explains why. The hospital bed was pulled uncontrollably into the MRI machine by its magnetic force. A nurse became pinned between the bed and the machine, reports say. She suffered crushing injuries. The patient fell to the floor. The incident is detailed in a Cal OSHA investigation, concluding Kaiser failed to ensure the door to the MRI room remained closed and employees were following safety guidelines. The injured nurse recalling,
I was getting pushed by the bed. Basically, I was running backwards. If I didn't run, the bed would smash me underneath.
My first thoughts were, not again.
Tobias Gilk is an MRI safety expert whose own research using federal data shows as the number of scans and exams increases, so do accidents, but at 3 times the rate. Gilk estimates thousands of incidents go unreported every year.
Personally, I find it very frustrating.
Online videos show the sheer power of the machine's magnet on anything metal.
Wow, look at that.
It doesn't stop being magnetically attracted. It keeps pulling and pulling and pulling, squeezing to try and get the magnetically attracted object closer to, in contact with, the MRI scanner itself.
It's why there are typically a series of rooms and doors, areas to screen for metal objects. But these findings by the California Department of Public Health show Kaiser Redwood City failed to provide radiologic services in a safe manner.
And it's not just a failure of the last barrier, the last individual. It's a failure of many
Look at that bed. Holy cow.
protections or preventions
Sucked into
before
the
we even get to that
MRI
point.
machine.
The systemic problems start, regulators say, with the nurse and patient care tech left unsupervised without MRI personnel. No one, including the patient, was ever screened. The door to the magnetic room was left opened, and the safety alarm never sounded.
In order for us to run an MR center safely, safety education is critical.
Dr. Emmanuel Canal is a renowned radiologist with the University of Pittsburgh. He studied hundreds of incidents and says safety training is vitally important. And MRI personnel should have minimum standards, just like airline pilots.
And coming from it from an aviation safety point of view, standardization, certification, recertification, ensuring that you're on top of your game. To me, these are critical aspects of what we need in magnetic resonance to ensure that we decrease these incidents as much as possible.
But we found Kaiser's own MRI safety policy was not followed. Records show some required safety training never happened. The facility also failed to test the door alarm annually as recommended. The investigation stating the many safety failures created a culture of unsafe practices. Kaiser Permanente responded to our questions in a statement, saying in part, our teams responded quickly and those involved immediately received the care and support they needed. This was a rare occurrence, but we are not satisfied until we understand why an accident occurs and implement changes to prevent it from occurring again. But a source alleges this wasn't the only incident at the Redwood City Hospital and shared this photo of another accident.
It becomes important for us to ensure that we restrict access to the site only to people that need to be there, and we can control what and who enters and how they're exposed to what.
For the nurse who became stuck against the magnet, she suffered severe lacerations requiring surgery, including the removal of 2 embedded screws. The patient was not hurt, and
wouldn't even
Kaiser is now
understand that.
facing
I mean,
an
take a look at that.
$18,000 fine for missteps in a workplace injury accident that could have been much worse.
If you look at that, you see that hospital bed got sucked right into that thing. Just imagine, like, if you had something on that would have been magnetic and you were, you would be pinned to whatever it was. Let's say you had a piece of metal on your arm or whatever, a watch, it would yank your arm to that, and oh, that's crazy. I just can't even imagine what they went through. And those beds are really heavy too, and the fact that it's partially inside the machine tells you how strong that magnet is. Now I'm never going to ever question that again, because I was like, really? You're telling me to take my watch off? Is it really that? Can't I just put it in my pocket? No, I could see why they demand that you take everything metal out. Man, that's crazy. That's just crazy. Those people are, she's lucky that
The California Department of Public Health says it cannot speculate on how often incidents like this happen and admits there are no regulations to specifically address MRIs. Safety advocates say that needs to change. I'm Brooks Jarose, KTVU,
That's
Fox 2
crazy
News.
Stuff. I would have never, ever. Oh my gosh, I thought they overplayed it by when they would tell you you can't do this, you can't do that, and I was like, oh yeah, sure you can, okay. Whew. That's insane. I will never question that again. This is a weird one, but only in Philly will you see this happen. Go for a pizza, you have to kill a guy. Gotta do what you gotta do at a pizza place. You don't just we don't just sell pizza. We protect the public. That's what they should say from now on. So oh man. I can't imagine that oh wait, that could be a funny one too. Nothing's there. Oh, I want to see that one. What is going on? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that's Philly in a Philadelphia pizza place. Get your best pizza there, but you also get protected by the people that work there. Tony Soprano would take care of you. All right, here we go. A Philadelphia pizza shop employee killed a would-be robber in a shootout on Saturday night. Two armed men entered George's Pizza on Oxford Avenue in the city's Frankfurt neighborhood around 8 p.m. and tried to rob the store. At some point, gunfire was exchanged between the two men and the store employee. One of the suspects was shot several times in the head and upper body. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Well, serves him right. And the other suspect fled. It's not clear if he was struck in the gunfight. Nothing was taken from the shop and no injuries were reported. One witness said he spoke to the employee who had acted in self-defense. When I saw a guy lying down on the ground, blood, the owner's son said he had to shoot him because the guy was shooting at him. Said he had to shoot back in self-defense. The deceased suspect has not been identified by police yet. I'm sure it has been by now, but this was yesterday. Ooh. Yep, have a slice and a bullet to go. Oh, man. I don't understand why people can't just... I mean, you're stealing from a mom and pop store. You don't mess with people's money. You know, it's one thing if you're... I mean, you shouldn't ever steal from anybody, but if you're going to steal, let's not take it from the little guys. Oh, this is strange. This sex worker nearly beats an elderly man to death and robs him of $6,000 at Caesar's Palace. Oh, man. What's this world coming to? I don't get it. I just don't get it. You know, people, I guess the thing is, so I value life. I value my life higher than everybody else's and other people's lives too. I keep getting this black screen. Why am I getting this black screen? Okay, there we go. Anyway, so the Vegas sex worker was this woman who I guess was tired of her life. You have to be really tired if you're going to beat an elderly man to death. And, okay. Let's go back. Here we go. A Las Vegas sex worker beat an elderly man with limited mobility and robbed him of thousands of dollars in his hotel room. Las Vegas Metropolitan Police responded to a reported robbery at Caesar's Palace and Casino, hotel and casino, and inside of a guest room they found an elderly man beaten and bloodied on the floor. The elderly victim, who uses mobility scooter to get around, told officers that he had brought a hooker to his room, and she beat him and robbed him. The assailant, later identified as 26-year-old Napria Wilson, had taken his wallet, and the man said that he met Wilson on the casino floor and invited her to his room. Once in the room, the man gave $500 cash for her service. Wilson took the money and stayed in the room. In a couple of minutes, Wilson asked the man for the money, and the man stated, "I already gave it to you." Wilson began to get argumentative with the man and told him to give her the money again. The altercation escalated to a vicious beatdown that left the man with a broken face and multiple facial fractures. After the attack, footage taken revealed the police showed Wilson leaving the man's hotel room, getting into an elevator, and leaving in a taxi. Later, the victim told the police he was missing $6,000. Police contacted the taxi, who provided the additional footage of Wilson in the cab. She almost immediately vomits as she enters the cab. Wilson apologizes to the driver and tells him that she'll pay him an extra to get her out of here, and appears to pass him a $100 bill from her purse. That's crazy. Wilson seemed panicked throughout the whole ride. At the end of the trip, Wilson got out and told the driver, "You never came here. This didn't happen," and gave the driver what appears to be an additional $200. She was arrested outside her Henderson apartment on Wednesday after MGM Resorts security helped match the photo of Wilson and with other surveillance footage. She's charged with attempted murder, residential burglary, and robbery. Records said her bail was set at $75,000, and she remained behind bars at Clark County Jail. She was charged with soliciting, engaging in prostitution just weeks earlier on October 5th. In 2021, Wilson was charged with attempted murder and domestic battery. She later pleaded no contest to the domestic battery. Man, that's crazy. She must be, I can't even imagine what, she beat the living daylights out of him. That's crazy. All right. She's not a very good prostitute. I think she'll probably lose her job prostituting, too. She'll be in jail for it, so it doesn't really matter, I guess, because, she's just one of those people that can't keep a job. Oh, man. All right. The origins of Halloween. Does anyone know where Halloween started? So, Halloween has been around for a long, long time. And it's funny because, it originally started as this cult thing, and now it's become a quote-unquote holiday. And it's like, how do you think of it as a holiday? Like Easter's supposed to be something other than the walking around, stealing candy giving candy to kids and eggs and stuff like that. But this is really strange, but okay. Welcome to heaven. To enter, you must be forgiven by everyone you killed. Well, I never killed anyone, so video games are included. Oh, that's good. I like that. Well, there you go. If you ever wondered. But it's funny because the holiday is kind of like embraced by people. I mean, I remember as a kid going trick-or-treating and all that stuff, and I always thought it was a fun kids holiday, but back then it was more frowned upon than when lots of kids got to go out and do this stuff. But carving pumpkins, trick-or-treating, and wearing scary costumes are some of the time-honored traditions of Halloween. Yet the Halloween holiday has its roots in an ancient Celtic festival of Samhain, and a pagan religious celebration to welcome the harvest at the end of summer, when people would light bonfires and wear costumes to ward off ghosts. In 8th century, Pope Gregory III designated November 1st as the time to honor saints. Soon after, All Saints' Day came to incorporate some of the traditions of Samhain, and the evening before All Saints' Day was known as All Hallows' Eve, and later Halloween. Here are a lot of the origins of the classic Halloween traditions we know today. Carving jack-o'-lanterns were originated in Ireland using turnips instead of pumpkins. It is allegedly based on a legend about a man named Stingy Jack, who repeatedly trapped the devil and only let him go on the condition that Jack would never go to hell. But when Jack died, he learned that heaven did not want his soul either. So he was forced to wander the earth as a ghost for eternity. The devil gave Jack a burning lump of coal in a carved-out turnip to light his way. Locals eventually began carving scary faces into their own turnips to frighten away evil spirits. Bet you didn't know that. Seeing ghosts. The Festival of Samhain marked the transition to a new year at the end of the harvest, beginning of the winter, and the beginning of winter. Celtic people believed that during the festival, spirits walked the earth. Later on, Christian missionaries introduced All Souls Day on November 2nd, which perpetuated the idea of living coming into contact with the dead around the same time of year. Okay. Then we got scary costumes, wearing scary costumes. In order to avoid being terrorized by all the evil spirits walking during Samhain, the Celts donned disguises in order to confuse the spirits and be left alone. There you go. So that's why wearing scary costumes was important. Then we got trick-or-treating. There's much debate around the origins of trick-or-treating, but generally there are three theories. The first theory suggests that the Samhain Celtic people would leave food out to appease the spirits traveling the earth at night. Over time, people began to dress as these unearthly beings in exchange for similar offerings of food or drink. The second theory speculates that candy boom stems from the Scottish practices of guising, which is the secular version of souling. During the Middle Ages, generally children and poor adults would collect food and money from local homes in return for prayers for the dead on All Souls Day. Geysers dropped the prayers in favor of non-religious practices with the inclusion of songs, jokes, and other tricks. The third theory argues that the modern American trick-or-treating stems from bell snickering, a German-American Christmas tradition where children would dress in costume and call on their neighbors to see if the adults could guess their identities of the disguised. In one version of the practice, the children were rewarded with food or other treats if no one could identify them. Most of the time they couldn't identify me because they didn't know me, because our neighborhood was stretched out back at that time, and we had to ride our bikes to get to other houses to go trick-or-treating. So it's kind of funny about that, because nobody ever knew who we were. All right, then the next thing says black cats. The idea of being spooked by black cats dates back to the Middle Ages, where these dark felines were considered a symbol of the devil. Didn't help that centuries later, accused witches were often found to have cats, particularly black ones. People began to believe the cats were a witch's familiar supernatural entities that would assist in the practice of the dark magic, and black cats and spookiness have been linked ever since. So black and orange, the traditional Halloween colors of black and orange, also traces back to Celtic Festival of Samhain. For the Celts, black represented the death of summer, while orange symbolized the autumn harvest season. Bobbing for apples. The game of bobbing for apples has been a staple at Halloween parties for many years, but its origins are more rooted in love and romance. The game traces back to courting ritual that was part of Roman festival honoring Pomona, the goddess of agriculture and abundance. While multiple versions existed, the gist was that young men and women would be able to predict the future relationships based on the game. While the Romans conquered the British Isles in 43 AD, the Pomona festival blended with the similarly timed Samhain, a precursor to Halloween. Pranking. Playing pranks often varies by region, but the free Halloween tradition known as Devil's Night is credited to a different origin depending on the source. Some say pranks started as a part of May Day celebrations, but Samhain, eventually All Souls Day, also included good-natured mischief. While Irish and Scottish immigrants came to America, they brought with them the tradition of celebrating Mischief Night as part of Halloween. So there you go. Lighting candles and bonfires. For much of the early history of Halloween, towering bonfires were used to light the way for souls seeking the afterlife. These days, lighting the candles have traditionally replaced the large traditional blazes. Candy apples. I never even thought that would have had, I didn't even think the candy apples had that much history in this. All right. Candy apples. For centuries, people have been coating fruit with syrup as means of preservation. But during the Roman festival of Pomona, or Pomona, the goddess was often represented by and associated with apples. Her name derives from the Latin word for apple, pomum, and the fruit is the heart of the harvest celebrations. It's believed that candy apples were invented accidentally in 1908 by William W. Kolb, a candy maker in Newark, New Jersey. As the story goes, Kolb was experimenting with red cinnamon candy to sell at Christmas time, and he dipped apples on sticks in the red glaze and put them in the shop window to showcase his new candy. But instead of selling the candies, he ended up selling the apples to customers who thought they looked good enough to eat. They became fashionable treats for Halloween starting in the early 1900s and remained popular up until the 1970s. That's kind of cool. Bats. Bats were likely present at the earliest proto-Halloween celebrations, not just symbolically, but literally. As part of Samhain, Celts lit large bonfires which attracted insects, which in turn attracted bats. Soon spotting bats became connected with the festival. Medieval folklore expanded upon the eeriness of bats with a number of superstitions built around the belief that bats were harbingers of death. Ooh. Devouring candy. The act of door-to-door for handouts has been a part of Halloween revelries, but until the mid-20th century, the treats children received were not necessarily candy. Things like fruit, nuts, coins, and toys were just as likely to be given out. Trick-or-treating rose in popularity in the 1950s, and it inspired candy companies to market small, individually wrapped candies. People began to favor the confections out of convenience, but candy did not dominate the exclusion of all other treats until the 70s, when parents started fearing anything unwrapped. Wow. I remember when we used to go trick-or-treating, we got full-size candies too. We didn't get these little fun-size things that are little itty-bitty candies that they hand out nowadays. We got the actual big candy bars, and wow, we used to eat, man, that was crazy. I remember going through that candy and thinking, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. And then I remember devouring it all, and whew, man, I was crazy back then. This is an ad that says, treat 'em right, don't be tricked, buy Halloween candy by the box. 24 bars for 93 cents. 10 bars in a bag for 39 cents. Get M&M's, Hershey, Nestle, Powerhouse, Clark, Hollywood, Curtis, and Mars candy at tremendous savings. Wow. Oh yeah, then there's the candy corn. That's next. Candy corn. Could you imagine 24 bars of candy for 93 cents and being the big bars, not these little itty bitty poor excuse for candy. Jeez. Anyway, All right, candy corn. Where did that come from? A candy maker at the Wonderlay Candy Company in Philadelphia is sometimes credited with inventing the tricolored candy in the 1880s. But the candy corn did not become widespread sensation until Goltz Company bought the candy to the masses in 1898. Candy corn was originally called Chicken Feed, and it sold boxes with the slogan, "Something worth crowing for." Initially, it was an autumnal candy because of corn's association with harvest time. Candy corn later became Halloween specific when trick-or-treating grew in popularity in the U.S. in the 50s. 21 cents a pound. And they had, I remember they had brown. It was brown, orange, and white. Then it was just orange and white. And I think there were just two colors, and then there were three colors. But this one says Halloween candy corn, 3-color natural sweet honey butter flavor, creamy and delicious, as natural looking as, I guess, ripe corn is what that's supposed to say. It was 21 cents a pound. Jeez. Yeah, you can't even buy one candy bar for $1 now. Yeah, you're paying, like for the big ones, you're probably paying $3 or more for the candy now. That's crazy. Okay, I guess that's the end. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's it. That's what we got. Man, that's crazy stuff. That's just crazy stuff. All right, next. Oh, yeah, here you go. Passenger's backpack catches fire as plane takes off from JFK. Whew. I hope that doesn't. Do you remember? I guess it was back in, I want to say the 90s. No, it was the 2000s. When 9/11 happened, where they were then forcing us to take our shoes off because some bomber put a freaking bomb in his shoes. I am so, it's like, the weirdest things, why would you, I never understood, if you're gonna do something to disrupt some passengers, I would think that you would, if you're a successful bomber, let's put it that way, your goal should be to kill as many people as you can. That's a pretty simple rule. If you're going to be a terrorist, you should at least try to be a good terrorist. I'm glad that they aren't good terrorists, but hopefully they don't listen to this show and then say, "Oh, he's right," and then start doing things like that. That would be horrible. But instead, if you're going to wipe out 200 people or whatever it is on the plane, it just seems like an awful lot of work for 200 people, and yourself. If I'm going to kill myself and I'm going to be a suicide bomber, I'm going to make sure I take out as many people as I can if I'm a suicide bomber. But I'm not a suicide bomber, and I don't really want to kill people. But something to think about. So at least they kind of did it right with the when they took out the Twin Towers. Not the Twin Towers. Because they did take out a lot of people. But they still didn't really do it right. But, they didn't ask me for advice, and I wouldn't help them anyway. JetBlue passengers' carry-on burst into flames just as the plane was about to take off, which will be called one of the scariest moments of my life. Jimmy Levy was in his seat on the aircraft of JFK International Airport in New York on Monday when he woke up to the feeling of an intense heat and immediately noticed that his backpack was set on fire. I was jolted awake by a sudden and terrifying wave of heat, which was seemingly shooting towards my face. Levy, 25, told Cater's News, I immediately opened my eyes and noticed the backpack, which was initially tucked underneath my seat, now in a floating ball of fire. Before the flight attendants could assist, the musical artist started to desperately stomp on his bag in an attempt to put out the fire and stop it from spreading any further. I thought somebody tried to attack me because I'm a known political figure and musician, Levy, who was a contestant on season 18 of American Idol, said. So let's see here. But after the investigation, it appeared to be an overheated portable charger in my backpack. Oh, he's going to cause all kinds of problems now with these battery packs. Levy has 1 million followers on Instagram and more than 120,000 listeners on Spotify. The singer from Miami, Florida, was set to fly from New York to South Florida, but after the incident, everyone had to evacuate the plane. With the help of the flight staff and water, the fire was contained. However, due to the gravity of the situation, everyone was required to evacuate the plane for a thorough investigation. I wouldn't want to be the person that they were investigating because of me, you know. After the fire was out, they investigated. It was discovered that the fire was caused by an overheated portable charger. In a statement to Caters, JetBlue confirmed the flight was evacuated while at the gate before takeoff due to a customer's malfunctioning electronic device or battery. Our crew immediately responded and addressed the situation, and there were no no requests for medical assistance. You know, the thing is that with these batteries, they had made it so that if you bought a computer, a notebook computer, for instance, you had to be careful what size battery was put on that. And it got to the point where there were certain batteries that you could not fly with because they were so afraid of them blowing up. And so you had to be real careful when it came right down to it, what size the battery was. So it's really a strange thing to think about those batteries overheating and causing explosions and stuff like that. So, yeah, kind of weird. Yeah, definitely one of those things. But, yeah, backpack catching fire. That's the first I've heard that in years. I mean, that was a regular thing with bigger batteries. Let's see here. Okay, I want to make sure that I cover this, that, this, and this. Okay. Okay, we were talking earlier about Parkinson's, and this article actually has been interesting to me because I had the article on Michael J. Fox. And so a man with Parkinson who is unable to walk without falling is enjoying Sunday strolls again thanks to a spinal implant. This is what I love about some people working to help the betterment of other people. You know, some people, all they think about is themselves. All they think about is how can they make their life better. You know, maybe instead of one steak, they have two steaks. Or maybe, you know, it's maybe I'll rob a pizza place because I'll make money that way. You know, all these people that think clearly of themselves. That woman that took $6,000 from that old man. You know, all these things, they happen. But then there's people out there like this. a guy who worked on a solution to Parkinson's so that this guy can walk again without falling. That to me is so awesome. A man diagnosed with Parkinson's disease almost 30 years ago and could barely walk on his own cane, can now climb stairs and go out independently again, thanks to a potentially revolutionary device implanted in his spinal cord. Marc Gaultier, 62, from a small town in France, has lived with Parkinson's since he was 36. Was forced to stop working as an architect 3 years ago when his mobility got so bad that he was falling down 5 or 6 times a day, meaning he often had to stay at home. I practically could not walk anymore without falling frequently, several times a day. In some situations, such as entering a lift, I'd trample on a spot as I thought I was frozen there. And see, if Michael J. Fox had read this article, maybe he could be helped too. This is such a cool thing that somebody, I don't know how they thought of something like this. I just think it's awesome. 2 years since the device was surgically implanted, he was once again, he once again could do things he used to enjoy. Every day, every Sunday, I go to the lake. I walk around 6 kilometers. It's wonderful. It's incredible. Parkinson's is a degenerative disease where people don't have enough dopamine, a neurotransmitter responsible for many body functions, in their brain, which can lead to physical symptoms, including rigidity and tremors. Parkinson is most common in older people and men, with symptoms typically appearing in those over 50, but it can occur in people under 42. So that's, it's really cool that somebody figured this out. And so treatments typically include taking dopamine and deep brain stimulation, where electrodes implanted in the brain produce electrical impulses that affect brain activity. These are usually effective, but can stop working as the patient's condition worsens over time. And like this person here, almost 90% of the people with advanced Parkinson's experience walking problems such as gait impairments, balance problems, and freezing of gait episodes, which reduce their quality of life. Study co-author Jocelyn Bloch, director of the Neuro Restore Treatment Center that researches implantable neurotechnologies, and senior attending neurosurgeon at University Hospital of Lausanne, Switzerland, said that in a press video. Scientists from Switzerland and France worked to develop new treatment by designing and implanting a device known as a neuroprosthesis in the Galter's spinal cord. In healthy people without Parkinson's, muscles move after being stimulated by sensory fibers. In Galter's case, the fibers in his legs were weakened by Parkinson's, meaning the sensory feedback loop was not strong enough to make them move properly. The implant works by stimulating the weakened sensory fibers attaching to leg muscles. So if you imagine the stretch reflex, you go to a doctor, there's a tendon with a hammer, you hit the tendon when you have a reflex. That's exactly this pathway that we're mobilizing with the stimulation. He said Gunther can turn stimulation on and off himself. I think this is such a cool thing that something like this has restored his walking and made him feel like he can go out like a regular person, and he feels confident about it. Instead of focusing on the region of the brain that's deprived of dopamine, we thought that we could focus on the spinal cord that ultimately is responsible for the activation of leg muscles in order to walk. So Gautier's walking improved almost immediately. After the device was implanted, Gautier quickly saw his walking start to improve. According to the study, and following several weeks of rehabilitation, it returned to normal. It's, almost returned, nearly returned to normal. He's currently using a neuroprosthetic around his leg, for around 8 hours a day, and turning it off when sitting down for long periods or sleeping. That's just awesome. That's like a miracle. I mean, that's awesome, and I hope more people can get this. And I'm surprised that more people didn't know about all this. The study authors are excited about the possibility of turning this proof of concept into widely available therapy to treat mobility problems in people with Parkinson's. I do believe these results are open, realistic perspectives to treatment, to develop a treatment that alleviates GALT. Is that GALT? That's gait. Can't see that. Can't see if that's an L or an I. I think it's an I. Gait deficits due to Parkinson's disease, and therefore look forward to testing this new therapy in 6 additional patients. The authors said further testing would happen within the next 18 months, but if successful, the treatment would not be commercially available for at least 5 to 10 years. David Dexter, Director of Research at Parkinson's UK, was not involved in the study. He said, this research is still very early stage and requires much more development and testing before it can be made to people with Parkinson's. However, this is a significant and exciting step. We hope to see this research progress quickly. So there you go. I think it's awesome. Maybe we'll see people with Parkinson's live normal lives. And I thought it would be a cool thing, because this is something I read just this afternoon, and I thought, wow, that's really cool. And it was funny because I had that Michael J. Fox thing too, and since that's what we talked about that earlier, I thought it would be perfect to say then. All right, so whales can be dangerous. Orcas sink a Polish yacht after a 45-minute attack, according to this tour company. Wow, that would be really wild, because I've been on some of the whale watches in New Jersey, and I've been on dolphin watches in New Jersey, and they were so cool to see, especially the dolphins, swim right up to the boat. You don't want the whales coming right up to the boat, but to see the whales or to see the dolphins come up to the boat is awesome. I mean, I think that would be a pretty cool sight. I've seen them, and they play around and they swim all around you and stuff like that. It's a sight that you got to see once in your life, and I loved it. One of the things I took my mom out to was a whale watch, and I'm trying to think if we saw one that day or not. But when I know I saw one a long time ago, and I know I saw dolphins that day. But it's really a cool thing to see, because those creatures are just very cool that they can move and swim and all that around in the water, being that big. But and it's funny because you look for their tail. That's how you know. When you see their tail, you can then zoom in and try to figure out what's going on. One time I saw a whale I was at the shore. I was sitting out on the beach, and I had my camera that was a 52x zoom, and I was watching just looking around with the camera, looking for stuff, and I saw something. You usually when you're looking for whales, you look to see where the birds are, and if you see the birds, they're in general the birds swoop down and they get their food, but they look for the whales because the whales generate their food by, I don't know how to explain this, but generally the birds find the whales and they end up getting their food in that spot. But anyway, I saw a bunch of birds out at this whale watch, and oh no, not the whale watch. I was on the beach. I thought I saw a whale, and I thought I can't really see that, so I pulled out the camera and I zoomed in on it, and it was a whale. So I was the only one that could see the whale because everybody was doing their thing, and like I zoomed in and I got a couple pictures of him and stuff, and it was really cool. It was like 2012-ish or something like that, but it was just really cool. It was something that was really cool, and nobody else there saw it. Everybody was just playing their volleyball or surfing or whatever it is they were doing, and fortunately I got to see these whales. I loved it. So anyway, what's the next thing? Oh, what was the point I was making? Oh, I was making the point on the whales. Anyway, I was lost track of what I was talking about. I knew I was talking about whales. I just didn't know why I was talking about whales. So anyway, orcas sink a Polish yacht after 45-minute attack, according to the tour company. So, they actually got video of this. This is cool. I didn't see the video. I wonder if we're going to have commercials. Hey, where'd it go? There you are. Yeah, Realtor.com. Okay, open this up so I can see it. There we go. All right. Wait. Okay, there we go. Okay, now we got it. All right. So we should have the whales coming up in a second. So they're done with their ad. Okay. Come on. Okay. Now, where is the volume on this? Okay. There we go. All right, here we go. To think that the whale was that close to him, that's crazy.
Yeah, like old.
Wow. I could see the whale underwater. You could see they have to come up for air at a certain point. There's one.
It won't tell us anymore, right? It won't tell us. It's coming a lot.
Should be a whale somewhere around here. Well, it's close to the dock. That didn't help. Well, that sucked. I really thought they were going to show us something. They didn't really show us anything. Okay, let's pull this back out. Bring that back. Okay, so I thought I was going to see something really cool. Free Willy has targeted humans on the high seas yet again. This time a pod of killer whales nearly lived up to their name after brutally sinking a Polish yacht off the coast of Morocco. The incident occurred October 31st after a group of orcas attacked the yacht named the Gracie Mama. Actually, Gracie Mama II, while it passed through the Strait of Gibraltar. The marine animals, which can grow over 30 feet long and weigh upwards of 22,000 pounds, had reportedly hit the steering fin for 45 minutes, causing major damage and leakage. I hate when I get that leakage. Despite attempts to save the vessel, it sunk near the entrance of the port in Tanger Med. Is that Med? Yeah. Tanger Med. Thankfully, the crew wasn't harmed in the attack and is currently enjoying a sojourn in Spain. The incident marks the latest in an ongoing trend of chamois scuttling ships off the coast of Morocco and Spain. Wow. But it's a beautiful attack. It's not just any attack, it's a beautiful attack. While attacks on boats have been documented since 2020, the incidents have increased in both frequency and ferocity, with the whales sending several boats to Davy Jones' locker of late. It's unclear why the species, which feeds on fish, seals, and other whales, have been targeting humans. Well, because we destroy everything. Jeez. However, scientists speculate that these could be copycat revenge attacks sparked by the incident where an orca matriarch was rammed by a boat, which is eerily similar to a plot of a critically panned 1977 Jaws ripoff, Orca. Jeez. Oh, wow, we're done. Holy cow, it's after 10. Wow. Well, jeez. Let's see. I don't want to end on that. That's kind of a sucky way to end. I guess we could pretty much. Yeah, I guess we should end on that. I'll have to end on something better than that. Wow. All right. Well, thank you for listening to the show. It was a fun 3 hours. And I will see you guys next week. I've only got a couple more shows till the end of the year. And I'm going to New York last week of November and through the first week of December. I'm going to try to be back in time for the show, but I may not make it, but we'll try. So we will definitely make the attempt. So, all right. Anyway, as always, remember the most important part. I'm going to make a new one of these when I get time. I want to put a new outro on this. So, thank you.